I grew up on a world with just one sun, a little yellow star that didn't show off. One town, one road, one stretch of rocky shore. You could see the whole sky from the roof, and I could name every constellation. By the time I was 11, and I named them all, so I was done. I told my mother I was leaving, and she said, I know you've been leaving since you were born. And the day I hit the black, I swore I'd never need a sky that small again. But one of these days, I'll find a place with just one sun, going down a short walk to the water and no numbers on the dash. One of these days I'll put the ship down on a world that's small enough to learn by heart. One of these days, but not today. Not today. Not today. The daydream comes on in the quiet stretches, somewhere past the shelf when the stars go still. I'm in the cockpit and my eyes go soft, and there's a porch, there's always a porch, and a single sun that takes its time with the evening, and water close enough to hear from where I'm sitting, and nowhere to be. That's the part that gets me. Nowhere to be tomorrow or the day after. Just the sound of the water and the color of the going down. And the sky I've seen so many times, I don't need to watch it anymore, but I watch it anyway. One of these days, I'll find a place with just one sun, going down a short walk to the water and no numbers on the dash. One of these days I'll put the ship down on a world that's small enough to learn by heart. One of these days, but not today. Not today. Not today. And here's the thing I'll never say at port. The porch I keep imagining as the same light as the one I ran from. Same yellow sun, same rocky shore, same sky you could learn all the way across. I went to every beach the galaxy's got, and the dream my brain keeps building. When I ask it to build me paradise, looks like the place I couldn't wait to leave. And that's, I don't know what that is. Funny, maybe. Or maybe that's just what home means. You can't know it till you've left it, and you can't want it till you've seen everything that isn't it, and realize the shape of what you're missing was always one sun, and a short walk to the shore. But the petrol's humming and the hull is warm, and Max still owes me one more race. And there's a port out past the veil I've never seen, and a star I've never sat under, and a cold-blooded girl who told me to come back when the sun's out. And I said yes ma'am, and I meant it. So not yet, not yet. The daydream folds back up and goes in my pocket, right next to the photograph I keep on the dash of a little yellow sun over a rocky shore that I left when I was young enough to think that leaving was the whole adventure. Turns out the whole adventure is learning what to come home to, and I'm still learning. But one of these days, a place with just one sun, going down a short walk to the water and no numbers on the dash. One of these days I'll put her down on a world that's small enough to learn on that porch and I'll watch that sun, and I won't go anywhere. And that'll be the biggest thing I've ever done. One of these days, one of these days, but not today.